Welcome to Sibos 2024 in Beijing, and we're here at the Chainlink booth. I'm Liz Lumley, and today I'm sitting down with Angie Walker, Global Head of Banking and Capital Markets at Chainlink.
Good afternoon.
Excellent. So thank you so much. I'm really interested about this year at Sibos. What is the sentiment that you're feeling? Like, how has the show been?
Yeah, it's fascinating. We've moved on considerably, I'd say, in the last 6 months. And I wasn't at Sibos last year, but I know the rough sentiment of last year. This year, it's very noticeably different. So people are talking about the when, not the if. So people are much more focused on production grade projects, on moving into production, on driving adoption. It's a very, very different mindset that people have got in relation to blockchain and tokenized asset type use cases. And many of the discussions we've had here at Sibos, which have been very exciting, have been very focused on us actually delivering solutions into production within the financial services industry. So it's been a great 4 days. We're all exhausted, but it's very exciting. And as I say, it's really, really about the when, not the if. I have not had anybody come to the stand and ask me the questions about blockchain and tokenization and does it work or is it applicable? All of that has gone. We've moved on. It really feels like we've moved on, and we're in the next chapter of our journey, basically, which is really exciting.
Yeah, I agree with you. There over the past years, it's been what is this? And now, how do I make it work?
Yeah.
It is. It's interesting moving on.
And I think people are educated. People are educated by some of the early use cases that are starting to gain traction, and they're a lot more confident around the use of the technology, which is really good. And the regulators are becoming more comfortable. That makes a really big difference. That is, welcoming of the use of tokenization and welcoming of the use of blockchain as a decentralized technology, that it makes for pushing an open door when it comes to you adopting it. And I certainly in areas like regulated stablecoin usage, we're now really starting to see a number of the regulators become much more confident in being able to support that. So that's super important to our journey and the pace of adoption within each of the jurisdictions.
I've noticed with a lot of the announcements that Chainlink has been doing over the past 4 days, there's been this sort of a look at using existing networks and existing standards to support the community. So one of the standards that's brought up a lot is the verifiable legal entity identifiers. How does Chainlink work with the VLEI?
Yeah, so we're working really closely with Alex and the Gleef team. We're also working with a number of the financial market infrastructures to try to work out how can we drive adoption with the VLEI. We think the VLEI is a very, very important element that will help adoption within blockchain anyway, because it will significantly improve our ability around the identity, both of the actual organization who is party to the transaction, but also in relation to the actors and the participants that are involved in the individual transactions as well. So if you look at the regulatory frameworks that we operate under, needing to be able to identify both the legal entity that we're transacting with and the participants within that legal entity are mandatory to most transactions the world over, and therefore having the VLEI and having it in a way that's transportable between jurisdictions, I think will be really important. So we're really focused on trying to drive use cases where we can actually embrace VLEIs. We think we've identified one or two that are very promising. And we're working with one or two of the market infrastructures and financial market infrastructures to see whether we can help Alex and the Gleef team really sort of bring that to life. And Gleef is, supported by the regulators the world over. So actually, it's very much a market initiative. It's for the good of the market as a whole, if we can widely embrace it as an industry standard for identity. So that's what we're working on at the moment. And there is another project we're very keen to get involved in, which is the DAS-CP project, the Digital Asset Securities Control Principles, which was kicked off last year by Clearstream and Euroclear and DTC. Boston Consulting wrote the white paper, really interesting, published that earlier this year. We're very keen to help bring DAS-CP to life. So we've been talking with our colleagues at DTCC and Euroclear and Clearstream to try to think about what use cases could we leverage in order to really embrace the control principles of DAS-CP. And it's a really good opportunity if we can drive that as well to create a framework if you like, an operating framework within which, if the industry gets behind it, we can start to again drive widespread adoption through standardization of the actual operating framework and the workflow itself. So I think things like the VLEI initiative, things like DAS-CP, and also this move towards trying to identify token standards that we can embrace industry-wide, I think will be really important to help us drive adoption, and we're very supportive of it. It's important to us because we can help to do that and to accelerate the use of blockchain and tokenized asset technologies.
So another big announcement that was very well received from Chainlink this week involved corporate actions, artificial intelligence, and large language models, which we're calling Project Calm.
Yes.
Yeah, talk us through that.
Yeah, so Calm, so I named Calm, it was a Friday afternoon name, but I just thought, people have so much stress in the corporate actions world, and I was reading a report that was actually produced by the Value Exchange. It was commissioned by DTCC and by Broadridge, and I've been in securities for 30 years, and I had not realized that even the most basic corporate action can take up to 100 people to actually be processed. And I was
ashamed of the fact. It's been a problem for decades.
I was ashamed of the fact I didn't realize that after spending 25 years in equities, but I didn't know that. But basically, it felt like an industry problem that many people suffer with. And so I thought it was a really good opportunity. I've been talking to my colleagues at Euroclear and at Swift, and we thought it would be really good to bring that to life, to see if we could leverage a combination of different technologies to see whether or not we could actually improve the situation as it stands today. I mean, basically the challenge, and it's a challenge we face in many parts of the, certainly middle and back office for sure, is us having to consume human readable but unstructured data. So it can be in the form of PDFs, it can be in the form of emails. So obviously solving structural errors around the documentation and the content. So what we've basically done is we've taken unstructured data for standard corporate actions around European equities, processed those through large language models, and used our own consensus model through OCR to reach consensus, created a unified golden record, and then distributed that out to the chains of the consumers. We got an incredible reaction. And in fact, I have had people coming up to me in the corridors of Sibos saying, when are you doing the next phase, and what corporate actions? Yeah, Calm too, indeed. What corporate actions are we going to be doing in the next phase? Are we widening the jurisdiction? So we are. That's exactly right. So the next phase of Calm, which we're very excited about, will be widening the number of corporate actions to some of the more complex ones. We're going to expand the asset class coverage to include equities and fixed income instruments in APAC. And we may also increase the number of large language models, and maybe even do a little bit of optimization to try to eliminate any of the sort of false positives where we can see what caused them. So, originally we didn't in any way customize the large language models. We just left them in their raw form. But what we'd like to do is maybe provide a little bit of optimization to improve the actual results. So everybody was very positive. We don't know what the operate model might bring. We don't know what the service might look like, but there was a universal feeling that we wanted to continue the journey. And so we're looking forward to the next phase, which hopefully will come in the new year. So it's been it's been an amazing 4 days. Big shout out to the Swift team who've put on an incredible event here, and quite challenging logistics technically, and we've had amazing feedback, and we're very excited to be helping drive adoption across the industry. So
excellent, wonderful, thank you very much.
No problem.